Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're breaking down the macroanatomy of a muscle. This is for the muscular system for anatomy and physiology, and this is super important to learn. This is the foundation of muscular anatomy, and before you can get into its contraction and muscular physiology, you need to understand its anatomy, what the structures are, where they are, and what they do. You will definitely see this material on your exams for sure. Professors can ask you questions that refer to potentially labeling for this. They might ask you to diagram it. They might ask you the order of these structures, what tissue makes them up, and what they do and what they are. So by the end of this video, you will know how to label this structure and you will know what each of these parts does and what they are there for. And then in our next video, we will get into the more microanatomy with the sarcomere. Before we get into the details of the muscle, we have to know where our bone is. The bones serve as the attachment point for our muscles, and they're going to attach to those bones via tendons. Remember that our function of muscles is to produce movement. It produces these movements by pulling on our bones, causing that movement. Next, you also have to look at where the artery and veins are around the muscle. Arteries bring oxygen-rich blood to that muscle so it can get the nutrients and oxygen it needs to contract. The vein carries away carbon dioxide and waste products once the muscle has done its work. The first layer that we're going to cover here is the epimysium. Our epimysium is going to surround our whole muscle, and it is made of dense, irregular connective tissue. The epimysium is also going to merge with that tendon. The epimysium is kind of like a protective jacket where it's going to cover all of those muscle fibers and bundles of muscle together, keeping them all together. Next, I want to cover fascicles, but before that, I want to go over the perimysium. So our muscles are bundled into what is called fascicles. The protective layer around each fascicle is the perimysium. Perimysium is also made of dense, irregular connective tissue. Now we get to the fascicle. A fascicle is a collection of our muscle fibers. All of these muscle fibers are kind of bundled together, kind of like wires, and they all work together. And again, to reiterate, the fascicle is surrounded by the perimysium, but this arrangement of fascicles allows for blood and nerve innervation to be supplied throughout it efficiently. And finally, we have a singular muscle fiber, which is surrounded by what is called the endomysium, and this is actually surrounded by our areolar connective tissue. It essentially is going to help organize each muscle fiber from one another and allow blood and nerve innervation to reach them effectively as well. Recap, our epimysium is going to surround our entire muscle. Our perimysium is going to surround each fascicle, and the endomysium is going to surround each individual muscle fiber. The arrangement and organization of these structures allows for muscles to contract efficiently and as well as have the structural support they need to transmit forces and endure forces. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully now you are able to label a diagram like this one and answer questions about each of these structures and what they do. I do have a practice video quiz in my practice test library on my website. It is going to be linked in the description of this video. If you guys need any more help and extra resources, I do have all of my anatomy and physiology notes from whenever I was in the course. They're on my website as well. Each individual chapter, as well as the bundles, is also linked in the description of this video for you. Comment anything else that you would like me to cover for anatomy and physiology. I will be covering the sarcomere structure next. Thank you all so much for watching, and good luck in anatomy and physiology.